Let's refresh. Oh, it says we're live. Okay, never mind. It just went right into it. Well, welcome guys to Warren First 931. I'm the host of the show, Kelly Walker Slaughter here. We are actually live here getting geared up and ready for the dedication ceremony for Mr. Russell Watson. He teaches school here for 44 years. Very huge person in the ag department and especially with FFA. And I thought starting out with some FFA members. So state your name.
My name is Madison Moore. Haley Smith. Taylor Ogle.
So tell everybody a little bit, girls, about like what does FFA mean to you?
The biggest thing is building really long-lasting friendships and relationships with people that also want to make the world and their own community a better place.
Ooh, I love that.
I'd have to agree with Madison. Being an advisor's daughter, FFA's been part of my life since I can remember, and I've got to be active in all the activities that they've done.
Awesome.
I would also have to agree with both of them. As a 4-year officer, I also think that being an FFA member and FFA alone is just a really big place for kids to view advisors as role models, and for somebody that, say, doesn't have a father figure or mom figure, then they might get that in one of these advisors, because I know I have.
I love that. And speaking of that, now, did y'all ever get to be a part of Mr. Watson's world?
I personally was not. I just was never involved in anything like that. But I can only remember meeting him a handful of times, but he was one of them.
What do you remember most about him?
His passion for FFA.
He's like the one that kind of got it all started, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, and again, FFA, it's not just the letters, the jackets. Like when you put that jacket on, you have a standard to uphold to, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. So I know your mama, and I just love how all her babies have gone through this. What have y'all enjoyed most about FFA? Like besides, going to the conventions, like the camaraderie, like what else do you remember most happy about it?
Definitely getting everybody else involved and showing them how amazing it is, because like I said, growing up, I've had a blast doing this, and so I want everybody else to have just as much fun as I have.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Now, y'all are welcome to go grab the boys while I grab Danielle, while she gets her mommy moment photo. Come on, y'all are welcome anytime. I'm just going to keep it rolling. And again, the ceremony does start at 4:30. So they're going to do the whole dedication ceremony. I think they said it's going to take 30 minutes. And Danielle's going to clarify everything for me. Look at this. High school reunion.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. I want to call you Danielle Smith. Or Connor. But she's a Smith now. So tell everybody what you do for FFA.
Oh goodness, we do just about everything, any kind of form of leadership, livestock judging, poultry judging. There was a new contest this year for ag education.
Yeah.
They created a lesson plan, and the top 6 will teach that lesson at state convention. We do farm days for the elementary schools to teach them about to educate them about where their food comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some really neat things up and coming. You'll have to come see them.
Okay. Hey, just invite me. All you got to do is call. You got my number.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll bring Ninja Turtles with me. There's a thing about that. We'll tell you later. But, you've been in FFA for how long?
Oh my goodness. So my dad was a state officer.
Okay.
He was a chapter officer. So Mr. Watson literally knew me in diapers. When I was 16, on my 16th birthday, actually, he told the entire class that he had known me since I was in diapers.
Oh, Lord.
And if I was 16, we would be going to get Shoney's strawberry pie. He loved Shoney's strawberry pie, and if there was a Shoney's wherever we were at,
you got that strawberry pie.
Yes, ma'am. But so basically, my entire life, Dad moved here from Oklahoma his junior year, and became involved in Warren County FFA, and that was the end of it. I couldn't remember ever wanting to be anything other than an ag teacher. So
I love that, and and of course, this ceremony. It has. I mean, you have known him for quite some time. This has got to touch the heart a little bit. what does this mean to you for him to be just have this light shined on him? Oh, and this is way deserved.
Oh, absolutely. And I will tell you, I knew I had big shoes to fill when I got hired. I was actually the one that was hired to replace him when he retired. And I'm still filling those shoes. I just hope that I can lead on his legacy, and he would be proud of what we're doing here.
I really do think he does, because I mean, all the stuff you have to do, the activities for the youth. I mean, this is a great program. And anybody else that's interested in FFA, how can they get involved, or how does it work?
The number one thing is you have to be enrolled in an agriculture class. So when you
Okay.
come in as a freshman, take agri-science. That is our gateway course. And from there, you can go to the plant path, the animal path. We now have a drone class.
Okay.
And most people don't know this, but there's an opportunity to earn about 15 college credits just in the ag programs.
Wow, that's awesome. And again, I've had several talks since this all has happened, but when you join the FFA, they help you with college opportunities, because y'all are so well connected to certain colleges in this community, correct?
Absolutely. And actually, our articulation agreements are with Montlow and MTSU. There's a couple that are statewide, but the credits from MTSU transfer everywhere. We are very connected with MTSU, Tennessee Tech, and UT.
I was gonna
And
say,
then we help kids fill out scholarships. During the snow days, I was actually helping. You just spoke with Haley and Taylor,
yes.
and we were working on resumes and scholarship applications. Actually, Mr. Watson scholarship application that was due on Valentine's Day.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And guys, make sure you come out here. The program starts at 4:30. How long is it going to be?
It's supposed to be about 30 minutes.
30 minutes long. And then are we going to get to go to the wing, or everything's going to go?
My understanding, everything is going to happen here,
Okay.
but then he will have a plaque that will forever be outside his classroom inside the ag wing.
I
So
love that.
the same classroom he taught when I was there. So that will be there forever.
I love it. Thank you so much for doing what you do. And yes, when it comes to people like Mr. Watson, the movers and shakers of this community, all of us have big shoes to fill. And I think you'd be very proud of you on what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome anytime. They have refreshments and everything as well. And we're going to get some of the ag boys to come out here, because I got to torture them a little bit.
They need it.
Yes, they do. They have to learn. Y'all coming? I'm going live all the time. The ladies already came. Now, after we have the ladies, here's the gentlemen. These are our FFA boys. State your name.
Max Holmes.
Branson Pettigo. Top fan.
And can y'all tell me what FFA has meant to you guys?
FFA means family. My family's been doing agriculture for probably the last century. It's just what I like. What I've been in my life. What I want to do.
I love it.
FFA for me, our family's been farming for 80 some years now, and I've just always enjoyed it. I always want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
FFA was fun because I've been farming for 50 years, and I've been doing that my whole life.
FFA means a lot to me because it's brought me closer to people around here. I've got to learn some new faces and get to meet a whole lot of people. It's just
I love that. Yeah, because it's just like the girls were saying, this is like a forever connections that y'all are gonna build for the rest of your life, And can y'all tell me some of the fun stuff y'all do with FFA?
one fun thing that points out to me is every year we go on convention trips.
Mhm.
So here coming up next month, we're going to a state convention, and we get to do all kinds of fun stuff.
What do you do when you go there?
Well, you get to choose your own activity. So like last year we did laser tag, we did mini golf, all kinds of fun houses, all kinds of fun stuff like that.
But at the convention itself, do y'all have to do is it like projects or?
There's a state fair where some FFA members, they create boards. It's like a project, and that's pretty much it.
And they kind of enter, is it like a contest amongst the other FFA? Have y'all won any awards for that so far?
I haven't entered in any. I don't know if any of these folks have.
Okay, well, there you go. I was just wondering. Well, can you tell anybody that may be watching this that loves farming and loves the nursery life or just loves, being a good old country boy, I guess is a good way to say it, why they should join FFA and how they can?
Well, in FFA, you get to meet a whole lot of people, not just from in your school, and that's in the FFA program, but you get to meet people from out of state on national convention trips and state convention. You get to meet people from all kinds of counties and all kinds of states, and it's really fun.
FFA's a good way to make good business connections for the rest of your life.
Oh, great networking. Totally agree. Well, thank y'all so much. I'm not gonna press y'all anymore. Y'all did great. Y'all enjoy. Are y'all gonna be out there helping out and serve? I love it. Y'all enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anytime. Now I'm gonna get Terry Bell. Make sure I can hear everybody. There we go. Come on now. Our executive, county executive, Mr. Terry Bell's here.
Hey.
Now, are you going to be actually doing talking today on the stage?
Yes, we actually, Tuesday night at our county court meeting, we had a proclamation honoring Mr. Watson.
Yeah.
And we actually read that, and I'll be reading it again today. And we give it to his family because we had several people on the county commission. We had all the people come up in the crowd that had Mr. Watson as a teacher.
That's what I was going to ask you. Now, did you have him as
Yes,
a teacher?
I did. As a matter of fact, I was.
You want to give the year?
Well, let's see. It would have been 1980 through 83.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. So I
so-
wasn't born yet. I love
Because I was at the, that's back when the junior high housed the 9th grade.
that. Okay.
And then when I went to senior high, of course, I had him my sophomore,
Yeah.
junior, senior year. And I was president of the FFA in my senior year.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
You're the president and now you're the
Yeah,
county executive.
County executive, yeah.
Now, do you ever remember having talks with, Mr. Watson? Because a lot of the past students I've talked to, they always would say the one thing, like, he could see my work, or he could see that I was more than what I thought.
He could, and he really put the effort in our FFA program.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people ask me when, of course, I'm in the county executive, and they'll ask me, how do you know about this parliament procedure? People are supposed to be done. I said, well, I'll explain that to you. I was the president, and we always had to compete, never competition. So we had parliamentary procedure competitions. And Mr. Watson made all the officers, we had to learn that to participate. And I thought when I was there, I don't need to know this stuff. But you never know what God has in store for you.
Full circle.
And now I'm using it just all the time. So
I love that. And some people, I'm just very curious because some people say they meet their spouses at FFA. Is that a story?
no,
about you and Becky?
no, actually Becky was she was my neighbor,
Yeah.
and she's younger than I am.
Yeah.
She didn't graduate till 86. So,
Okay, gotcha.
and she was more into the band than the FFA.
I gotcha. Okay, no worries. But again, thank you so much
All right.
for doing
Thank
your
you for
part.
being
I
here.
appreciate you. And if you ever have a problem, you call this.
Yeah, give me a call. We'll
Yeah.
help you out.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly. We are going to keep going with more interviews because I'm just going to keep rolling.
Okay, I'm gonna take.
You want to do one?
Yes, ma'am. My name's Steve Glenn. I was the first president of Warren County FFA.
Shut the front door. No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
You look fabulous.
Well, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. So talk about it.
Oh, Mr. Watson was just the best of the best.
Mhm.
He taught us so much we didn't know growing up.
Yeah.
He didn't afraid to use that paddle.
I was going to say, back in the day, kids,
yes.
we got paddled. I think I was one of the last years that
Oh,
got
he
used.
was. Oh,
Yes.
he was wonderful. But he taught so much. He set the standard for all the rest of the boys.
Because you can actually really talk more about the history of this. Like when he started, there was no FFA, no ag.
At Dearborn School, that's where it started.
Okay.
We
Dearborn
were at Dearborn
School.
School for 2 or 3 years. Then we, put the schools together. So he just moved all of us in office.
I love that.
Oh, yeah, he was such a nice guy. And I think I know he was.
So how much of what impression did you leave on what you are today? So, I mean, it's very, probably a lot of words.
Respect.
Yeah.
You You're always feeling. It's always. So, I just want to say that.
Oh, I'm so glad you came over here. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So I just thank Mr. Watts and his family. It's great. All of them. Go Kansas City. We're going to Kansas City. Here from school. They get up there and say, D. Braille's here to present so and so. D. Braille.
D. Braille's.
D. Braille. Yeah. Instead of Dear Braille.
Yeah.
Oh, but we got to kick out of that. But it's all fine. It's all good.
Yeah. He always, like, again, I didn't have him as a teacher, but when you have a conversation with him, I always say this, he looks at you and he listens to you. He doesn't see through you. He actually gives you that time. Because he saw everybody's worth, no matter if you were in his class.
He found good in everything.
Yes, he did, for sure. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
bud. You're welcome.
God bless
God
you.
bless you.
I'm gonna go grab Chris Cope now. I'll be right back. Okay, you want to? I was just gonna keep going live till it's, yeah.
No. I'm on that enough.
Come on, Jarvis.
No.
You can at least say hi. You're live. Hey.
Yeah, we'll get too.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We're live, so
Oh,
I'm just gonna
great.
keep going live till it's 4:30. Come on.
Yeah, 12 more minutes.
I
then.
do. I'm just
Mr. Tommy Caldwell.
Mr. Tommy Caldwell, and we got Chris Cope with us, 2 members of the school board, correct?
Absolutely.
And again, y'all were the start of this movement to get this dedicated, correct?
Well, it's been
That's what I've
a
been
group
told.
effort. I mean, this was
Yeah.
presented, we talked about this, was actually Stephen Hilton had brought this up several months ago, even before his mom passed away, about
Yeah.
doing something. We want to do something, and then it just come time that, it was time to make a move. So it was full board experience, and we're excited about it and so glad to be a part of it.
So tell me a little bit about y'all's experiences in this.
We're both the same age. We're both graduates of Warren County, 1995, and both Mr. Watson. So I'll let Tommy, he was a little bit bigger than I was.
Well, I went through all 4 years of freshman through senior. My nursery proficiency, like I said, third generation nursery. The thing about Mr. Watson, not everybody can drill a ball, not everybody can throw a ball, but he got his names in the paper. There's parents still got clippings and grandparents of those kids making the paper. He could take, a poor student from Warren County and make him look like a me on the stage, national or state stage. And, the impact that he had in Warren County, the average mind can't wrap around. I'll just be completely honest, because you teach for 44 years and have over 4,400 students. You're impacting a lot of lives. You just look at the impact that the ag industry has on, Kelly, I mean, and it's not just nursery. It was, row crops, beef, dairy, back when dairy was going. I mean, he didn't discriminate against any of it. He embraced everybody. And, we have educators in all of our buildings that impact our students every single day. There's a few teachers that you become family with. Russell Watson is one.
I was gonna say, I mean, anybody, I was saying that over the 44 students that he had in his class, that doesn't include the people he affected outside of the classroom.
Well, and not only was he not just a teacher and the FFA advisor, he was on the curriculum board. He set the curriculum. There's no telling. He brought in agri-science, he brought in agribusiness. He brought in all these, seeing the future of what FFA is and the business is. And like I said, we're multi-generational businesses. Warren County thrive off of. And these ones had kids, grandkids, and students. And just over here, this group of guys, we've just been talking, every single one of them has a story about them or their kids or somebody with the impact that Russ Watson had on them. It's so good just to overhear some of these conversations.
When we would go somewhere and people would see that Navy coat with Warren County on the back, Russell Watson. They recognized us in Kansas City, Missouri, back when the Nationals were still there. It's in Indianapolis now. And when we would go together to state convention, MTSU for Middle Tennessee convention, people connected Warren County with Russell Watson. He had a nationwide impact on FFA and the ag industry.
And correct me if I'm wrong on this, he was the one that started the ag class. First teacher ever with the first 300 students. Was it here at Warren County or was that in Dearborn?
Well, it started in Dearborn.
He started his education career in Dearborn before they consolidated. He brought his expertise to. Yes, and I mean he was a native, a Smith.
I was going to say he's not from here.
No, his roots, but he dug his, he planted his roots here, literally.
I love that.
You just talking to our county commissioner, Steve Green, and he said he was the very first FFA
came
president.
over
Did he talk to
here.
you? Okay, well, good.
Oh, no, he
Yeah.
sat there waiting his
Yes.
turn. I was like,
I mean,
hello.
you just see the history of these people for 40 years of history that we could have this event last all night long and never get tired of this story. I mean, we really should have dedicated a whole lot longer than this for it, but it's going to be exciting.
I think it will too. And I love all the stuff that y'all put together. Can y'all talk a little bit about the program?
Well, that's just been Daniel Smith, Stephen Helton, John Womack have kind of collaborated on this. It's like, hey, can we do this? Like, most of this is in the last 48 hours. Like, sure, let's do that. Let's do it. Let's do a program. Let's be honest. Let's do a video. Hey, yes, let's do it. Yes, it was a big group effort, and I'm proud to be a little bit part of it. So,
I agree. Thank y'all so much.
Well, thank you for covering this. Kelly.
No,
Thank
hey,
you so much.
anytime. I was asked if I come into live stream. I said, sure can.
Absolutely.
So I got a
Thank
call
you.
from somebody and I was like, I'll be here.
Awesome.
I'll
Thank you.
give Jonathan a
Yes,
next.
yes,
He's
yes.
reached out.
Grab Stephen right there. too.
Oh, yeah. I'll just grab Steven and
I'm gonna be
Jonathan.
interviewing you.
No, I know, right? Come on.
What do you want?
So we're doing live interviews.
Oh, okay.
We are live at the Warren County High School, and this is the dedication ceremony to Mr. Russell Watson. 44 years of dedication, not just in his teaching, in just everything he touched.
His life, yeah.
Yes.
He was an amazing man that touched my life in so many ways. I mean, helped shape me and guide me, and we're honored tonight to be able to do this. We wanted to just show, his family and just try to remember his legacy. Russell, being a teacher for 44 years, I mean, he taught my mom and dad.
I know.
He taught, of course, me, and he took me to Washington, D.C. He took me to Florida. He took me to Louisville, Kentucky, to Kansas City. And as a young child, that was, the first time I got to see a lot of that stuff. I mean, I got to go to D.C. And I remember whenever we was up in D.C., we was at a leadership conference. And somehow or another, I got nominated to be the MC for that leadership conference.
Imagine that.
And just having to go up and present in front of those people is like the very first time I've ever done. Of course, with my life has established after that. But Russell was the first person to put me in those situations and help shape me. I went to college because of Russell. He's the first guy that told me, Stephen, you can go to college. He carried me up to MTSU. He introduced me to the fraternity, and he just
Kept going.
Yeah. I mean, and just instrumental in so many lives and so many people have helped out. His sons are actually right over here. Come on over here. guys.
Come on.
We're actually live streaming right now.
Hi, Kyle and Kurt Watson. How are you? We'll go the other way. Sorry. Come on in.
Yeah.
Stephen, just make your way.
I'll exit. I'll let them.
So talk a little bit about your dad, because I mean he has touched everybody's lives and stuff from up back in here in Warren County. Like he was practically family to us. But talk about him.
Well, y'all were family to us too. So we went to school in DeKalb County, but we were kids, because we're only 2 years apart, 3 years apart. And so he would take us on all of his visits during the summer. So we would go and we would always go to Malt Ever Creek. He'd stop there and lunch, run around the creek.
He'd leave us there and go visit somebody and then come back.
Oh my God. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
We would go visit students and play with goats. And
Yeah, we grew up going to the old building, to the old school, and hanging out in the shop. That's where we learned. He taught us how to do woodworking, and we tinkered around with all the tools and stuff. So we kind of grew up with Warren County
You had
FFA.
two sides of families, right?
That's right.
So by your dad getting involved in all this stuff, did y'all get involved in FFA or any teaching or anything like that?
We did.
We did. So we both have our American degrees. I think our sister as well, all American degree winners. She was a state officer. Hers was a national proficiency finalist. I was a regional or a state level finalist. So yeah, we had a DeKalb County didn't have quite the SFA programs that Warren County had. but our dad, helped us out with our applications and whatnot, just like everybody else. So yeah.
So, with everything going on, and I know a lot of people since you passed away with your father, people have gravitated towards you. How's that made y'all feel? Just the support.
Yeah, I mean, like we grew up with all these people, coming through our lives for brief periods of time. Some of them, closer to our age, we spent a lot of time with going to Kansas City, going to Gatlinburg, going to Louisville, and all those trips and stuff. So, we recognize what our father meant to all these people, and it's incredible. The stories, sharing stories of things that happened before we were born, or after we left home and stuff like that. It's just it's really heartwarming to know how many lives he touched through his career. And, treasure.
So how do you guys feel about this dedication ceremony that the Ag Week is going to be named after your name?
It's amazing. And we know we have a lot of commissioners and county executives and a lot of his former students. Thank you for that. We know he would be proud. We know our mom would be proud. She was his biggest supporter. So we know that it would have been a lot to both of them. And it means a lot to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank y'all so much. Thank you for sharing your dad with us.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. Jonathan, today.
I got
Left. Okay, well, we got 1 minute left, but it does start at 4:30, guys. Okay, we'll end with Keith. Yes.
How are you doing?
Keith, we have 1 minute. So can you talk for me for a minute?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So Keith, what are you all about now?
Well, I was president in 1977.
Okay.
And what I can say about Russell is he taught all these young men and women a lot more than agriculture. He taught about life and how to be the right person, do the right thing. And Russell was just probably the best teacher I ever had as far as lessons that you use in life. How to be a good business person, how to be honest, how to be kind to people. He was just a great guy. Everybody here has stories, when they were in the FFA and taking his classes. He was just a great guy.
How does it make you feel that they're dedicating this family this long?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's well deserved. Everybody here will tell you that he's, like I said, he was probably their top teacher just because of the way he taught them and the things that they learned.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to get this. I think this is about to start. Thank you. All right, guys, just stay tuned. We're going to fix some camera angles around for you guys because we're going to get the program is going to get started now. I do believe, if I remember correctly, they said that if you want to watch the stream, you can either watch it here with us or you can also watch it on the WCSTV YouTube channel. That's the Warren County YouTube channel. So WCSTV. But stick around. We're going to have the microphone's going to cut off for a minute, but we're going to adjust some stuff. So stick around.
Got a bunch of back row church folks back there. We'll have to bring you down. So, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I am Grant Swallows. I have the pleasure of serving as the director of schools here in Warren County. And my job today, thank you for being here. We are here to celebrate a great man, but also importantly for the school system, we're celebrating a great career. People that are in this room and a lot of people outside this room have been affected by one man's legacy in teaching. That's what education is really all about. Connecting with people, leaving a lasting legacy. So that's what we're here to do today, is celebrate that. So I'm honored to be a part of that. We're so thankful you are here. We have several folks that are going to get up and talk, and it's my honor to introduce Mr. Tommy Colwell, who's going to kick us off.
Thank Swallows, and just to reiterate what Dr. Swallows said. You know, we're here today to honor the legacy and the impact Mr. Russell Watson had on Warren County as a whole. First, let me thank, I'm gonna start by thanking his family for being here. What an honor that is for them to be here and be a part of this with us. All current and former students of Warren County FFA, thank you for being here. Thank Mr. Hawes for making this possible. Ms. Danielle Smith, Ms. Tracy Reisinger, a lot of work, a lot of effort in this. Jonathan Womack, very instrumental in helping with this. They've helped me speaking behind me. I want to thank Chris Cole as well for all the work that they've done to make this possible. I apologize if I missed anybody, but if I did, thank you for making this day possible. Just want to take just a few minutes to reflect back on what a day in Mr. Watson's class was like. Why did y'all sneak? I'm gonna need some honesty, but we will not be specific. Did anyone ever lean back in their chair? Okay. We had some honesty right there. Okay, when you did, what were the three choices? You had the high seat, you had the short fast, and the chalk. Anybody that Watson class, you know what those three were. All the other extracurricular activities that took place, whether it be at Camp Clement, state convention, armed machinery show, when national was still held in Kansas City. There's some things that happen in those places that stayed in those places. You know what I mean? I dare say there's some secrets that are still being withheld that moms and grandmothers have no idea what happened. We all have those stories. And like I say, those are memories that we're still holding in our heart today. Let me just say, and I want to thank the good Lord above that there wasn't cell phones or social media when I went through in the early 90s to midnight. Because if there had been, Mr. Hawk, Dr. Swallows, I think it's safe to say, y'all might have had some sleepless nights. Even though most all of Mr. Watson's trips were adventurous, to say the least, everyone here can say they were memorable. And yes, memorable in many ways. These trips opened the door of opportunity to young men and women who would have never been recognized had it not been for Mr. Russell Watson. I'm sure everyone here has newspaper clippings, as I said, of awards and recognitions that were only made possible through the efforts of Mr. Russell Watson. Mr. Watson believed in us even before we even believed in ourselves. Warren County schools are blessed every single day with teachers who are willing to invest and impact their students, but occasionally you cross paths with teachers who leave you with more of a personal impact. For all of us here, that was Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson could take a poor farm kid from Warren County and make us look like millionaires when it comes time to fill out your record books. Mr. Watson helped numerous students obtain scholarships, help make connections, with job trainings and everything else. Mr. Watson was also the type of person that would call you into his office when he knew you were struggling. Maybe something going on at home, maybe just needed to talk. That was Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson would give up time with his own family to make sure your family was okay. There's not a person in here who didn't have a death that Mr. Watson never paid his respects. Folks, when we hurt, Mr. Watson hurt with us. I want to close with this. As a sitting board member, we have the opportunity to cast impactful votes, whether that's a vote on granting teacher tenure, policies, raises, bonuses, budgets, capital projects. But as for me personally, to be able to name the Adeline and Russell Watson in such a deserving manner is something that I'll cherish forever. So on behalf of the Warren County Board of Education, Warren County High School, it's with great pride and honor that the current Ag Wing is now the Russell Watson Ag Wing. Thank you. Mr. James Benton.
When I became principal here in 2002, everybody's already heard of Russell Watson all the way across the state and outside the states. And I asked Mr. Watson to come into my office and I said, what do you want your program to be in the next 5 years? He said, successful. I seen that determination in his face. I seen the pride that he had. I said, well, what are you talking about for successful? He said, I want every student that I've had to be successful when they leave Warren County High School. And I thought that was one of the most touching things that when I was first on the job here, that any faculty member had said to me, because we were all in it for touching the lives of our students. If you look around today, you see in Warren County and outside of our county, all the students that's come through that under Russell Watson, and see what their leadership and their determination and their pride and qualities have been, because he restored that. And I will tell you this, I know this for a fact. He could be your friend one minute and bust your tail the second, because I've seen it done. But he loved them all. And the thing about it was, he always made a point. If he got on you, he always made a point to tell you something positive before he left you. It is my honor as part of the board member and a former principal here. I'm so proud that we're dedicating this wing to Russell Watson. Thank
you. The advisor, here by the owl. Why by the owl? The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Those words Russell Watson spoke so many times, and he lived by them. Russell guided most all of us in some way, some fashion. As we've been working on getting this program together and we were spreading the word about it, I was calling different ones to say, hey, we're doing this for Russell. And I said, did you have it? Some people said yes. A lot of people said yes. But there were some that said, no, I didn't, but I know him. And he affected my life. I either went to church with him or our family was involved at agriculture. And he helped me in some way, some fashion. That's who he was. That's what he was. He cared for each and every one of us. I waited too long to tell him. I went by the Webb House probably about a year ago. And finally went in and seen him. And I'll never forget going in and seeing him. After so many years. I went down and it was already, the lights already out, and I talked to the lady there and she said, oh, go see him, it's fine. He's already went to bed, but it'll be fine going in. So I walked in his door, he's laying there asleep. Without hesitation, he rolled over. He looked up, got the sleepy out of his eyes, and he called me by name. He knew me. He knew my dad. He knew my family. He cared about all of us. He would ask that night, rolled over in bed, he asked about my neighbors and if I'd seen them. His mind may have slipped a little bit there at the end with his disease, but his passion was agriculture. He thought whenever he was at the Webb House that he was on an FFA trip. He thought that he was making this, he thought he was in East Tennessee, I think, whenever I talked to him. And I think why was that? It's because that's what he loved. That's who he was. And he was out making a difference. That man was known not only in this state, but in the nation. He was Mr. FFA. Whenever other ag teachers were struggling to try to figure something out, they called him because he helped write the book that they were trying to figure out how to teach. the SAEs and all that, that's who he was. And he touched so many of us. He helped shape so many of us. My story is much like a lot of y'all's. He carried me to the very first leadership conference. I remember I went to Washington, D.C. We went up there. I went with Brendan Savage. Next thing I know, I was standing in front of a group about like this, or a little larger, and I was the MC. Never would I have thought that I knew that. Russell knew it. And he so often pushed so many students to become better than they were. Russell didn't always get the cream of the crop. A lot of times, those students that just had to have an elective got pushed off on Russell, and they ended up in the ag classes. Russell never treated them different. He always treated them with respect. He always treated them with honor, and they always looked up to him. That was what Russell was all about. He taught me more out of the classroom than I ever learned in any classroom. He taught me how to treat people. He taught me how to stand up in front of people and talk just like I am today. His dedication and devotion, in my opinion, is unmatched by any other teacher. He had 44 amazing years that he served this FFA program in this school in this county. Through that, he taught multiple generations and thousands of students. Whenever you start adding it all up. His dedication to this county, literally, he helped shape it. The other night, we had his family out to the county court, and we did a proclamation, and our county executive will read that shortly. And everybody that had him was asked to come down. Over half of the county commission come down out of their seats and was in that picture. Russell Watson touched each and every one of them and helped them guide them. A parliamentarian that's in the county commission, he was in FFA. I wonder where he learned how to be a parliamentarian. I wonder where he learned how to do parliamentary procedure. It was through Russell. That's where he learned. The miles that the man traveled, they can't be counted. Whether on a bus or plane, and sometimes the driver's ed car that had the extra pedal on the other side. That was occasionally needed to be used. He gave many students their very first, whether it be the first time to venture outside of this county on some kind of judging event, or the first time to ever cross the state line, the first time to ride in a plane, the first time to go to national convention, the first time to ever spend the night in a hotel. He got a lot of these students out that never would have ever went that far. But he took them. He gave them goals. He gave them aspirations. He would point to the stage and say, if you want to be there, I can help you get there. He sent a lot of us there. I was actually very fortunate in the aspect that I got to be the very first Middle Tennessee regional officer. Russell put me there. I wouldn't even known about it if it would have been for him. The trips like National Convention, State Convention, the Farm Machinery Show, go Alice. He was a big Alice Chandler fan. Camp Clemens and Leadership Conference, the judging events, and so much more. We all cherish those, as Tommy was saying, those memories. If he was to write a book, some of those chapters would definitely be, how to teach, how to fill out an SAE, how to keep a record book, maybe even how to do a fish fry. But the chapters and the stories that would really get a lot of our attention was maybe the mishaps. And if you find his memoirs, you can burn those for all of us here that live in Warren County. Those adventures could include maybe chasing bears in Gatlinburg, or hot sauce cold drinks on the roof of a hotel somewhere, bathtubs full of beer, smoking behind the ag building, or I think my father's favorite, knocking out the bus window while going to National Convention. So he kept that to himself. He dealt with that. The truth of it is, a lot of us
probably would have been expelled from school if we come back and was to tell those stories today. And Tommy, you're right. You know, I think my mom and dad still don't know about a few of them. Words to live by. When you die, will you be missed? I think today is a true testament about Russell Watson in his life. He is missed. His memory lives on through each and every one of us. We need to do him honor by keeping that memory going, keeping his passion going. Miss Smith and them with the FFA program, keep his legacy going through that. And keep wearing those corduroy jackets because that's what he loved. That was his life. Was the world a better place because Russell Watson lived? I think the answer is a resounding yes. Thank you for this opportunity. We're glad to be able to devote the Ag Wing to Russell Watson. May we all aspire to be like him and have the effect on as many people as he has. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Philip Brady. I have stories just like the rest of everybody here. And I'm not going to bore you with all those tonight. It wouldn't be a bore. Everybody here enjoys them and here. But I know school board has business to attend to after this and everything, so I'll keep mine very short and brief. But I think Dr. Wallace said it best, and Stephen even touched on it as well, the legacy of Russell Watson. We can all sit here and talk about his memories, but it's a legacy. Again, as Stephen said, he gave opportunities that wasn't there for an old country boy from Centertown. He made the opportunity to participate on a national level, just as he did as many of the folks said in here this evening. But more than that, he taught us life lessons. There's been many nights that I've been at his house working on projects or things or whatever, go on the weekend. But when it come time to go to church, let's go to church. We went to church. But I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank the school board, director of schools, and the staff here at Warren County Senior High, Warren County High School. Not senior high when I went to school. But thank y'all for doing this. This is something I think that will keep Russell's legacy on the minds of many people here for a long time to come, and it's very well deserved. But I'd especially like to thank his family for sharing him with us, because he absolutely devoted so much time that I know had to be come back to me. Not that he didn't love them, not that he didn't spend time with them as well. I know he did. How the man had so many hours in his day. But I appreciate the family, appreciate them for being here. But know that he was loved, not only by everybody here in Warren County, but statewide and national. Stephen touched on it as well. I have attended judging events and stuff with my children and been out of state, out of county. People come up to me and says, "How's Russell? How's things going? How's things changed down there?" We miss Russell. And I mean, it was an every event a thing. It wasn't just one night of the blue. It was every event we went to. Somebody was coming to me, knowing I was from Warren County, on the legacy that he had everywhere. How's Russell? How's things going? He not only touched lives here, he touched them all over across the nation. And as Stephen said, other ag teachers would call him and ask him about certain things with the FFA program. Well deserved, because he knew it just like a Bible. And nothing fit him more than the part that the advisors part of the opening and closing ceremony. We were talking in the back, and I want to point out his legacy started, it's lasted over 2 generations, sometimes probably 3. I know my father-in-law was in his first class, Dearborn High School, before consolidation. And then I think when they come to down, correct me if I'm wrong, Stevie Glenn was the first president after consolidation. Several of those presidents have passed, and some of us are still here. But Russell would come by my office on various occasions and tell me exactly how many former students that he had that had passed away. He knew the numbers, he knew the names. That's how much he cared for all the students that he had. And he knew those facts. He could tell you exactly how many national degrees, American farm degrees that he had, recipients that he had had in his degrees. He knew all that by heart. And it wasn't because that it was because he cared, because he loved his students in Warren County. We appreciate that so much. But again, thank you to the school boards of the county for passing the proclamation. Because no other person more deserving than Russell Watson than this. Thank you.
Terry Bell, the county executive. This is a really special thing for me. I was the president of the FFA in 1983 under Mr. Watson. Today, I probably wouldn't stand up here and read the proclamation from you if it was not for Mr. Russell Watson, because he taught me what leadership skills we had. And at the time, I was probably a little stubborn, didn't want to participate in some of the things we had to participate in, but he coached us on, made us all better people because of that. And I never dreamed that I would use some of the things that he taught us, but I'm using them in my job today. Me being county executive is definitely needs to be a credit to Mr. Russell Watson, because I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't went through the agriculture program and the dedication that he placed on everybody in Warren County. And so it's we were fortunate enough at the county court meeting Tuesday night to pass a proclamation honoring Mr. Russell Watson. And I'm going to read it to you now. Whereas James Russell Watson was born on August the 5th, 1945 in Woodbury, Tennessee, and earned degrees from Tennessee Tech University, as well as Tennessee State University, and was an educator in the Warren County school system. He alone taught the only agriculture program in Warren County, Tennessee for 2 years. And whereas Russell Watson was a dedicated agriculture teacher where he inspired students for 44 years, his passion for agriculture and education was evident through his involvement with the National Association of Agriculture Educators, Future Farmers of America, and the Middle Tennessee Irish Association. And whereas James Russell Watson worked with over 280 state FFA degree recipients, 100 American degree recipients, and 7 National Star finalists. Thanks to his tireless efforts, Warren County currently holds the national record for the most star finalists. And whereas during his career, James Russell Watson earned the highest respect from his students and colleagues in agriculture, leaving behind a lasting legacy of achievements that no other can duplicate, changing the lives of many of our citizens forever. Therefore, on behalf of a grateful community, I, Terry Bell, County Executive, Warren County, Tennessee, am honored to declare February 18th, 2025 as James Russell Watson Day across Warren County, and thus extend a sincere thank you for all his years of service. And I want to thank all the people that have put in the effort to name this hall after him. They couldn't be a more deserving man of that name. Thank you.
For that, as far as, I know that you was once my teacher, and many generations of kids you have taught and continue to teach to this day. Tell us a little bit about your history and how long you've been doing it.
I've been teaching. I started at high school in 1967. And I taught there for 2 years till they consolidated all Seaton County high school. The only teacher in the county in 1967. So when we consolidated, that provided all the other students from the other areas, the other high schools that didn't have an opportunity to take out.
You've been through the different processes, through, like you said, through the different high school and then to the Warren County High School. You've been there about 40 years, right?
I've been at Warren County High School for 40 years, 42 years in.
Are you going to retire?
One of these days, yes.
Well, I mean, as far as you enjoying the kids and stuff
Yes,
like that.
yes, I do. I really enjoy working with the students. I used to do the same if they have many different generations of people keep coming up and saying, "Oh, change." No, they basically don't change. There's some factors that have changed over the years. These individuals that we have in agriculture education, it is an elected course. It's a course that they want to be in. They are broken up from one teacher department now to three teacher departments. 18 students have earned at least a $500 scholarship. And they can go to any school they want to go to. They go to a technical school, they go to a horse farming school, they go to a barber shop school, they go to a nursing school. Any type of thing that they can do towards educating themselves above the high school level, post-secondary level. And so that's one of the things, the good thing about this particular program is we ask people to make donations, then it is hit to every one of those students because they're going to get the advantage of it.
Many people's always seen y'all selling the cons and stuff like that.
Yes, that's Christmas fundraising, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We just concluded our Thanksgiving and we are about to conclude our Christmas fundraiser as far as taking orders. We've had the way the economy has been, it's been down some, and we will adjust to what activities and so forth that nature that we do. We do have to fund pay for our own transportation and gas costs and things of that nature to teachers in order for these students to get the benefit. And one of the main things I need to emphasize on this is that as you talk about leadership training, students, when they leave Warren County and they get out of Warren County, they know Warren County, but when they get out of Warren County and they see how other students are doing, then that serves as a motivation factor for them to compete with everybody else. And I think that's one of the things over the years that a student will go to a convention and a freshman will become so awful. Next stage 4 years from now. And so a lot of our students will set goals, and my duty is to assist them to try to reach those goals.
I know that you've done a wonderful job. A lot of viewers may realize this, they may not. A lot of the FFA students, some of them may not be as active in football or this and that. This is a instrument whereas they can motivate themselves, like you were saying, and they compete for some things that goes to the national level.
Good afternoon. I am Kurt Watson. I'm the oldest son of Russell Watson. Share his name, Kurt Russell Watson. I never caught any flack over that. Give me just a second here. I wasn't expecting to hear his voice tonight. It's been a while. I do want to say, his family wants to say how grateful we are to Warren County High School, to the Board of Education, to the County Commission, to the County Executive, to everyone that played a part in making this happen. My dad was a we lived in DeKalb County, but he drove to Warren County every day. I don't think it was just Monday through Fridays. He was here on Saturdays and Sundays as well sometimes. He loved this community. He loved the people in this community. I know he had opportunities over the years. He could have gone and taught somewhere else, and he turned down those opportunities because he loved Warren County, and he was loyal to Warren County High School and the families and the students that he had here. One of the things that I get apologized to a lot by a lot of his students that say, he spent so much time with us. I'm sorry that it took that time away from you guys as his family. You don't have to apologize. It didn't take time away. When you saw that slideshow, a lot of those pictures, we're in those pictures. DeKalb County didn't have a very strong FFA program. And so we tagged along when we were in FFA. We tagged along before we were in FFA. I was probably the first Warren County FFA picture that I've seen of myself. I was probably about 2 years old, sitting on a wagon in the parade on the FFA wagon in the Warren County parade. I guess it was the homecoming parade. So we've been involved with him. He brought us along. My mom, we've been to Gatlinburg. That was family vacations, Gatlinburg and Kansas City. We go to Louisville to the tractor pull and the farm machinery show. So, we feel like we grew up as part of the Warren County family as well. I will say, being invited to the court meeting the other night, I was taken back a little bit, as Steve said, by all the members of the commission that were his students, and how many people, when Mr. Bell said, if you were a student, go get in the picture, and how most of the people on the commission walked over to get their picture made. And Stephen had said to me, and I put it on Facebook, that you don't think about, in the moment, you don't think about it. We grew up, like I said, with several of these students, and but the impact on the county and how the people now that govern the county and run the county were influenced by him. And you heard him say it in that video. It wasn't just about agriculture. It wasn't just about the FFA. It was about motivating students. It was about letting people, giving people what they needed to be successful, sometimes even before they knew themselves that they needed that. So I did bring one item with me, and I started looking at this. It looked very familiar to the names of the county commissioners that I saw on Tuesday night. And I hear there's more than one. I think this one, it looks very similar to the one that was in that picture without the tape on it. So I think there's some more, but I'll have this here if anybody wants to, hopefully not use it on anybody else, but take a look at it. Several memorable names on here, but just another tool to motivate, right? So half your county commissioners and your county executive were motivated by my dad, and just again want to say on behalf of his family how grateful we are for this honor and for this recognition. We know he would be thrilled with this. We know my mom would be thrilled with this. There was never a bigger supporter of Russell Watson than my mom. And if you didn't think so, all you had to do was ask her about it. But again, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So if we can't have the members of the Watson family and the school board members come up, we're going to present them with a plaque. I'll give this to you. And so this plaque reads, honoring 44 years of dedication, leadership, and impact on agricultural education. A mentor to thousands, his legacy grows in Warren County forever. The Russell Watson Agricultural Wing, dedicated on February 20th, 2025. We can get Tracy and Reisinger and Miss Danielle Smith to come up. I know many of you will want to take pictures and speak to the family after. We'll do that in just one moment, ladies. It's all yours.
My name is Tracy Reisinger, and I wanted to speak to let everybody know that I appreciate everything Mr. Russell Watson did for agriculture, Warren County High School FFA, and career technical education. Through his hard work, guidance, leadership, commitment, and investment in our students at Warren County High School, our students and programs were successful. So when Mr. Bennett mentioned that Mr. Watson wanted his students to be successful, that truly happened. He made our students successful and our program successful. He made a difference in the lives of our students that they have not forgotten. Thank you, Mr. Watson.
Good evening. I'm Danielle Smith, the current Warren County FFA advisor, and I too also had Mr. Watson. So when I took this position, I knew I had very big shoes to fill, and I would spend the rest of my career trying to fill them. As we've heard tonight, Mr. Watson has touched many lives throughout our community and FFA world. If I were to say 110, how many of you would jump in your seats? His impact will continue to reach FFA members for years to come through the children and grandchildren of his former students and every student that journeys through the Warren County FFA. As we close this ceremony, please join the Warren County FFA officer team in celebrating the legacy of Mr. Russell Watson with a slice of cake as you reminisce of your own FFA journey, experience, and memories of Mr. Watson. Thank you.
So thank you all so much for being here. That cake is right outside that door. And we would love for you to hang out for the board meeting, but we're going to start the board meeting here in just a few minutes. So if you don't want to be a part of that, go eat cake. All right? Thank you all.
All right, guys, that concludes Mr. Watson's dedication ceremony. We are gonna cut it here. If y'all have any questions about what has happened today, feel free and ask us here at Warren First 931. If not, take care, God bless, and enjoy the rest of the day. And to all you teachers out there, keep doing what you're doing and shine a light to those students, just like Mr. Watson did with so many students. And remember, Warren County, as I'm trying to multitask today,